Hey, this is the C&D channel. I'm Chris, and this is MMA for you. I'll be doing my post-fight analysis for UFC 129, St. Pierre versus Shields. But before we get into that, I'd like to thank our sponsors, GoBusiness123.com, DeMarca Sunglasses Boutique in Laguna Beach, and DeMarca USA. Let's get right to it. Some of my initial thoughts. One, the Cesar Gracie team was 0-3 for the night, as Daniel Roberts, Jake Shields, and Nate Diaz all lost. This was a really good night of fights, barring the main event, which wasn't exactly everyone's cup of tea. Also, some of the finishes, I mean, there was at least, I'd say I'd actually go with 5 finishes that, if they happened on any other night, would have been KO of the night. It was a good night. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy with GSP beating Shields. As most people know, or a good amount of people know, GSP was actually inadvertently poked in the eye around the second round, which definitely could have hindered him. It's also been reported that Jose Aldo was sick coming into the fight, which makes him even crazier because he still performed at such a high level despite not being 100%. And he didn't look like he was 100%, to be honest. Let's get right to it. Pablo Garza beat Yves Jabouin by a flying triangle choke. Jabouin was actually winning. I thought he was winning the fight. I mean, it was pretty back and forth, but I thought Jabouin was getting the better of the striking exchanges before the flying triangle happened. Good win by Garza. He's actually on like a 2-fight win streak now, and he had a flying knee KO against Frechin Paixão, if I'm not mistaken. And now he has a flying triangle choke. So good for him. I don't know if he's someone to look out for, like the 145 division. I mean, he lost to Taekwon Zhang, and you gotta wonder if this is a guy that might be able to he might get like out wrestled by people or whatnot. Yves Jabouin, he might get cut, to be honest. Some people are on the chopping block. Speaking of some people on the chopping block, Kyle Watson lost to the Bull McDusty by spinning back fist in the third round. Kyle Watson, I think he might get cut also, in that the 155 division is just so deep right now. I don't know if they really need him. Good one by McDusty. Another thing I gotta mention, I'm actually 100% in my predictions. I was really surprised but I managed to pick all the winners. I was pretty happy about that, actually. Good win by McDusty. We got to see a lot of his stand-up skill. I figured he'd do a lot of like Taekwondo moves, and then he finishes with a spinning back fist. Arguably KO of the night. I kind of wish they split this with Machida's KO. Okay. After that, we got the returning Jason McDonald. I think he was injured, so that's why I say returning. Beating Ryan Jensen by a triangle choke in the first round. Good win by McDonald. I think Jensen's a guy that might also be cut as well. He's a guy that beats only like the lower tier guys of the division. So, and he can't seem to beat like even most mid-tier guys. I mean, he lost like Court McGee before this, and now he lost to McDonald. McDonald, he's always that guy. He's a good fight for any up-and-comer. He can't beat elite guys. He can have good fights with just about anyone, though. He's always a game opponent. I always like the athlete. And next, right after that, we got TKO as Ivan Menjivar, pretty much from the clinch, did an elbow to Charlie Valencia's nose/cheek area and ground and pounded him for a win. I like Ivan Menjivar. He lost to Pickett, but he's a very exciting fighter. He's finally in his right weight class at 135. Just a fun fighter, you know, good stand-up. He's been around for a long time. His GSP's first opponent, so good win for him. Once again, this could have been a KO of the night on any other card, you know. Charlie Valencia, he's another guy I think that's going to get cut, to be honest. And he's a good bantamweight, but I just don't think they really need him. You know, there's other bantamweights out there that they could probably sign, prospects out there. And yeah, I just don't think there's no upside to having Charlie Valencia in there. Hey, next fight of the night is Claude Patrick beating Daniel Roberts. I saw this fight and I like Patrick. I think I picked him to win. He has the tools, but he can't put it all together yet. His striking is actually pretty crisp. It was a lot better than Roberts. I just didn't feel like when I saw the fight, like, I think Rogan or Goldberg said best, like, he kind of allows Roberts to get into the fight and make it close, when Patrick was clearly the superior fighter, in my opinion. He kind of he had better stand up, and he pretty much negated anything that Roberts had on the ground. I think Patrick was also the better wrestler too. He has, like I said, he has a lot of good skills, but like I don't think he's definitely still a prospect in that he's still putting it together. So be interesting to see where he goes too. He's actually on a pretty good win streak. So yeah, and after that we got Jake Ellenberger KOing Sean Pearson. Man, Ellenberger's got some power, man. This guy is a prospect to look out for. He has really good wrestling. His power is good. His boxing is getting a lot better too. And he's just going to be a tough guy for any welterweight. He KO'd Sean Pearson standing pretty much. Like, I think Sean Pearson was KO'd on his feet, to be perfectly honest. Pearson, he's kind of like in his mid-30s. I know he's relatively new to the UFC, but don't see a lot of upside with him, to be perfectly honest. Ellenberger, he needs some. I think he should start fighting some top guys. I mean, he did really well against Condit, and that was his first fight in the UFC, and arguably beat Condit. So I mean, this guy's a guy to look out for. Another guy to look out for in the welterweight division, Rory McDonald beat Nate Diaz bad. He beat him so bad that it's reported that Nate Diaz is going to go back to the lightweight division. I mean, you're talking about a guy that got they're not German suplexes. I think one of them was, and the other two were like belly to back slams, because he lifted him and just slammed him. He didn't do the full arc. Man, Rory McDonald, this guy's got it all, man. He's got variety of takedowns. He's got a stand-up game that's really good. Man, I mean, who does 3 belly to back slams / suplexes on Nate Diaz? I mean, he was just outclassing the guy. Prospect to look out for, once again, going with Condit. Rory McDonald he was beating Condit for 2 rounds until he lost that 3rd round. It's tough to say who he should fight next. Not top 10, but more middle of the pack guys. Brian Foster was good. Johnny Hendricks was good. Loser of Thiago Alves, that's pretty high, to be honest. I'd like to see him against Rick Story if Rick Story loses, to be honest. There's some guys that he can fight. So yeah, let's go to the main card here, as Ben Smooth Henderson beat Mark Bocek by decision. Great fight here. Good win by Henderson. He proved to be unsubmittable once again. Really strong clinch game. Really good wrestling. Really good takedown defense. Improved striking. Definitely the stuff I wanted. Just the cardio wasn't there. but definitely what I wanted to see from Ben Anderson in his first fight in the UFC. This is a guy that would get taken down, get back up, get angry, get a clinch, and just start kneeing the hell out of Bojack. Bojack's one of those guys, he doesn't seem to be able to beat a certain level of competition, and he kind of proves it here. Like, he's a good tier guy. That's a lower guys. He steps